that means Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Naz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome welcome back. Braylon Edwards, Anson Wells, joined by Ricky Burns and Pete Spivak. All are in attendance today. You like the shades? I think these shades are pretty cool.
Whoops, my bad. Here we go.
Oh, you got the camera down. There we go. Got to get fixed up. Pete looking good. Did you guys plan this? Looking
I'm a
like
radio
twins?
guy.
Was this a plan? You guys got the
we
both
did,
on
didn't
striped
we?
shirts?
that, dude.
Maybe.
You planned it.
We'll never tell.
Gotta love a man with a sense of humor, man.
missed
But
the
the
other day.
shades. I get back to the shades, and for these shades, I have to thank one person. Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson this past weekend did his annual camp, the third Calvin Johnson camp I attended. I helped out these kids. What Calvin has done to the city, you know, when you are coming from a different place, we know he played for the Detroit Lions, a little bit of a rough patch toward the end of his career, but he put his boots back into Detroit. He gives to the community, and so it's glad to be a part of that, man. And yesterday, that's why I was playing hooky from work, if you will. I was building sponsorship and partner dollars, but got a chance to go out there and play with him, and these are some of the pictures. I got a chance to see some Lions fans Lions guys you may remember. I know you know this guy. You see him all the time on Big D Energy. Shout out to D-Mac as well as Ronnie Illich, who we talk about his uncle quite often on this show and every other show.
Yeah.
Chris Illich. Eric Ebron made an appearance.
Right,
a lot of people have speaking of lightning rod names, what's his name? Ebron. When you say his name, it's a lightning rod in the city of Detroit. And it's funny. He understands that and he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
In what way? Good or bad?
Bad.
Yeah, how are his
bad? When you say Ebron in Detroit, like the average fan will look at you like they want to kill you.
Interesting.
Are
I don't have that. I don't have that.
Course?
It's funny. Remember the year? No, to answer your question. The year after he left the Lions, shout out, he's a good people, man. This is Calvin. I appreciate Calvin for kind of taking a sloped angle and making me look eye to eye.
I was just going to say that.
Because clearly,
Sloped angle.
well, you know, you see the legs. They're long too. But Calvin's definitely 6'5.5", and I'm definitely 6'4". This is me and Pops, former Detroit Lions in his own regard, but 100%. But Sada Baby, shout out to Sada Baby for following rap music. You know what I'm saying? Drake Bell, Lomas Brown, and then Jalen Rose. Not to cut you off, Anson. This is a Detroit royalty photo. Lomas Brown, the best Detroit Lion offensive lineman of all time. That will change very soon. Then you got Sada Baby, Drake Bell, who's from Benton Harbor, but he did play for Wayne State and the Detroit Lions. And then Jalen Rose, he is Mr. Detroit. So all in all, I love that these outings, I love that these players, I love that these people are coming in and doing it. They're just channeling Detroit. And they're making these outings very Detroit, man. So it's always fun to be a part of.
I need to know what Sada's golf game is like.
Sada's golf game is a lot of talking, you know, a lot of behind the tree action, if you will. Double entendre. You see what I did there, you know. Every once in a while, we'll hit a putt, if you will, and shank a drive, but he's always there. Love the energy. Love Sada Baby. Sada Baby is a hell of a representative of Detroit.
Just the fact that he can stand up in that photo with the Detroit royalty and not look out of place. Absolutely.
That's a good call by you. Let's put a pin in that, and let's realize, ladies and gentlemen, today is July 1st.
Yes.
We are already at the halfway point of the year. Like, where's the time going?
Crazy.
Right.
Anson, where's the freaking time going?
Right.
I'm still looking for it, man.
Technically, we're past halfway.
That's right.
The 20th, right?
Right.
20th is the longest day of the year.
True, but we're past 12 o'clock. Like, this is nuts. This is nuts. Here we are. What has even happened in the sports world? Let's just go back. Who won? Let's see if people can even remember these things. Who won the Super Bowl?
That would be the Eagles.
All right. Who won the Stanley Cup championship, Ricky?
Florida Panthers.
There you go. Shout out to Ricky.
Ice soccer king Rick.
Guess what? You're on the clock, Pete.
So,
who won the women's NCAA tournament?
No one knows that.
The women's NCAA.
No one knows that.
What's her name?
University
Player of the Year.
What's her name?
Juju.
I just know it wasn't Juju. No, it wasn't.
No.
She went first overall.
What's
Paige Beckers,
Beckers.
UConn. All right, since you didn't follow that one, who won the men's NCAA tournament?
Oh man,
I do know this. Why can't I? Was it not
so
Alabama?
It nope.
Was, they were in it, right?
They were.
And it wasn't Duke. Oh my
goodness.
Oh man,
they haven't won
I
one
can see
since
the jersey.
Noah.
I can see the jersey, but I can't think of the
Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer. They were the Florida Gators.
Florida.
Florida
Dang,
Gators.
It took Corey Brewer for me to connect that dot.
That literally wasn't even but 2.5 months ago.
That's wild. That just lets you know. I think it's social media, man. Too much stuff happens. You get so much
100%
information that
overwhelmed.
you
Ricky,
forget stuff.
what happened Saturday?
See? I can't even tell you.
What did I do Saturday?
Right?
I had an autograph signing. I had an autograph signing.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I had to think about it for a brief moment, though. Also, did you remember that we got the first ever American Pope this year?
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
That
yeah.
also happened.
From
early.
Chicago.
100%. What else happened? UEFA Championship by PSG, their first title. And we got 2 movies. We got Mission Impossible finale.
Heard
with
it was
Tom
terrible.
Cruise.
Yep.
It was way too long. And then you got F1,
Yeah.
which was amazing. I
It
saw
was.
this weekend. That's
You
what
saw
I
it?
did
I still
Saturday
haven't
after
seen
the
it.
autograph
Yeah.
signing.
How
It
was
was amazing. Apple. Anything associated with Apple is going to be good. All their TV shows are really good.
I
The
agree.
movies that
Really?
typically go there. So, like, they got all the money, and now they're into the streaming space. Kind of like Michigan with the NIL space.
You watch Murderbot?
I saw it on there. I was interested.
Yeah,
I didn't watch
Skarsgård.
it.
It's pretty
I did
interesting.
not.
It's funny.
Side note, and I'm done with 2025. We can get into some sports, but we got Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt to do a movie before we got Grand Theft Auto 6. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Tom
that
and
makes
Brad
sense.
same year before Grand Theft Auto
makes
6.
sense.
Real quick, how
Go
do you
ahead,
feel
go for
about Vin Diesel and the announcement about Fast and Furious, and they're supposed to be bringing back what's his name?
From the death?
The Rock?
Yeah,
From
no,
the
not
dead?
The Rock.
John Cena?
Nope. Keep
The,
going.
the actor who died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I can't
actor
think of
who
his
died.
name. The Asian-
Oh,
Paul?
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker. Yeah, they're supposed to be bringing back his character.
AI?
They're
Listen,
gonna AI. They're gonna
First
AI
of
Paul
all,
Walker.
let me start here, okay? This goes out to Vin Diesel. All right. Somehow, you restarted the Fast and the Furious chain after a horrible 3. I didn't
times.
necessarily like 2, but I'll let people that fell in love with the culture at the time, blah, 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 Tyrese, that's fine. 3 was trash.
Yeah.
4 was trash.
Wait, Tokyo Drift?
I stopped
it was
watching.
horrible.
What?
Okay, well, just let me indulge me.
Did you see that garage scene, man?
Okay.
Talent.
That was cool.
Serious
Outside
talent.
of that, the rest of the movie, thank you. Trash. Somehow you revived the franchise with 5. You added The Rock. You added a bunch of explosions. You added a fight scene.
Submarine.
Which you shouldn't have won, by the way, Vin Diesel. But you know what? It's your movie. Fine. You can win. You can beat The Rock, who was 285 at the time, 6'5". Stop it.
Yeah.
We let you back in the door with 5. Somehow we let you do 6 with the longest runway scene ever. How long was that runway in part 6? How long was the runway?
Well, I stopped
still-
around 3-4.
Yeah.
Well,
stopped
I'm saying
around
I
3-4,
stopped at
yeah.
3-4. 5 re-jump started for most people. 6 was like, all right, end it here, and we'll just, we'll wash hands. Here comes 7. Here comes 8. Paul Walker died. Now you're trying to come back in 11 and fake Paul Walker in the AI space.
11?
Vin Diesel, what are you doing? Go sit down. I
What
liked
else
you in
does
the
he
boiler
have?
room.
What else does he have?
I like he's got The Last Witch Hunter. He's made
Right.
so much movie off the Fast and Furious, he doesn't need to do any more movies.
That's
That's
like
true.
agreeing
Because he's
to,
only Dominic
he
Toretto
he
at
should
this
just
point.
do Comic-Cons at this point.
You're not even Vin Diesel. When people
Yeah,
see
he's
you,
definitely Toretto.
you're Dominic Toretto.
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
agreeing to a $10 million contract with the Clippers at age 44.
I don't know what
right.
his deal was for Saving Private Ryan, but I don't know. I'm sure he's getting kickback still from that.
100%.
That's a lot.
Like now you're kind of like the cringy guy that's still getting movies done somehow.
Exactly.
He's the cringy guy.
Right. Exactly.
Cash and checks, Bray.
Ca-
He's cash and
The
checks.
cringy guy.
Oh,
I
here
love
we
it.
go. July 1st. Here's another guy who's casting checks. The greatest contract ever done in the history of sports, including Shohei Ohtani, who's supposed to make $1 billion down the line, maybe 10 years from now. Bobby Bonilla signed the infamous deal that would continue to pay him after he retired $1.9 million. From that deal started, this is the 15th installment of the deal, 1-9. The Mets have so far paid him $17.8 million. The man has not played, ladies and gentlemen, since the 2000 MLB season.
Wow.
Guess what? There are
Best
10
job
years
ever.
left on the deal. $10,739,284 to be exact. Bobby Bonilla and his agent, take a bow.
That's like winning
Take a
the
bow.
lottery and deferring your payments. I mean, he doesn't have to work.
Let me ask you: would you be in favor of this, or would you fear if you don't make it to that payment? Because how does that work if you
Oh, if you pass?
Yes.
I'm sure it goes to the
Goes
family.
to the family.
It's legacy.
Yeah, you get that figured out.
You got a list.
The lottery
of,
doesn't
It's
work
on the
like
sheet.
that.
but I thought
The
you might have a
lottery,
graphic.
the lottery, once you die, that's the last payment.
Oh, is it?
It does not defer to your family.
Now, what if you put it into a trust?
Yeah, you can put it
You
in
can
a
only
trust,
put what
Bray.
you have. Like, and if you're
If you
deferring
put-
payments, you're
but-
only putting what you have.
But I think you can put it into a trust, and
Okay.
then at that point, they'll
Braylon,
still
you
come
can
to you.
legally, through a trust, the payments can continue because the trust is in your name.
Every
I love-
human being should have a trust.
There you go.
I have one for sure. You're
sure.
absolutely
Yep.
correct. I love how Pete knows all about the lottery. It lets me know you playing that lottery, huh?
Yeah.
No, son of a lawyer. So
Yeah, oh, yeah,
I
we
listen.
forget
I
that.
listened to what Daddy
Yeah,
said.
Very true.
Judge
Very true.
Spivak. Judge Spivak.
Yeah,
While,
Yeah,
while
man.
we're on Bonilla Day,
Go ahead.
Pete gave us a list of guys that
Did he give you a fan?
are still getting lottery payments, including Max Scherzer,
Ooh, good
who's
job,
due
Pete.
$15 million from the
glad I don't
Nats
have a
through
graphic, no.
2028. Chris Davis, former Tiger,
Yes.
right? 916 through 2037.
From the O's.
That's crazy.
Yeah, all
So
from
he'll
the
be making
O's.
nearly $1 million as well
Yep.
every year. Man Ram, he's still getting paid through 26. He's got $2 million left. Ryan Braun, Lorenzo Cain, Adam Wainwright, Matt Holliday, Brett Saberhagen.
Yeah, the last one. You just said it.
Brett Saberhagen, former
What?
Royals
Brett
pitcher,
Saberhagen?
Yes, it's on their list.
$250,000, 3-year extension back in 1994,
I was close.
and it is good through
Let me-
2020.
hold
The
on,
list
let me
is
tell
on
you-
your sheet there, Brett.
It's like hitting the Daily Four.
Let me tell you
All right.
like this. Oh, see, I got you right here. Let me tell you like this. When I started collecting baseball cards in Atlanta, Georgia, back in 1989, 1990, now I'm dating myself a little
Year
bit.
I was born.
Baseball was the first. Like, you go in Georgia, it was baseball cards. When I moved up north, it became football and basketball. But down south, when I was collecting cards, one of the best cards I used to like to get, or the best players, was Brett Saberhagen. Not because he was one of the best players, which he was a really good player. He had the coolest last name. Saberhagen was
Yeah.
a dope name.
Saberhagen.
I used to be in like Brett Saberhagen. Like, you know what I'm saying? He hit home runs, but it's a super cool name. He's still getting paid?
Yeah, dude, it's on your list. He's
Baseball is a
Crazy.
cheat code, man. I'm almost mad at
Yo.
I'm mad at my dad now. Don't you know my father told me I played baseball and basketball, baseball and football. Basketball, I could, just dunk. I played those sports up to sophomore year in high school, where I was told to make a choice. I was going to run track regardless. I had to make a choice, football or baseball. I could not continue to put the same type of energy intentionally, because one was going to take me to the collegiate level. I chose football because Dad played played football.
It was good direction to push you in one way or the other.
But I could still be getting paid.
Would you have made it? Would you have made the major leagues? You think?
If I would have stopped and just put my
But who knows? At least
because baseball was my first love, to be
Are
honest.
you an outfielder?
Outfielder and third base.
And third. That was my spot.
Yeah,
Hot
100%.
corner, baby.
You talking about a 4-3 center fielder that's 6'3", and oh, by the way, he can hit the curve.
Hey, at least you had the
Tigers
option.
need you, dude.
I'm just saying.
I never played baseball. Years later, come to find out, my dad wasn't good at throwing the ball, so he never pushed us to play it. He just watched it. So I
he's-
never even got a chance to try.
What's your
So
sport?
if I would have sabotaged you,
Yeah, joined softball later and end up being like one of the top people on the softball team just because I was an athlete and I figured it out.
What was your sport?
I played football mostly throughout
What
my football
position?
and basketball. Linebacker, I was on the line for a while, but like linebacker, when they used to have fullbacks, I was a fullback.
how old were you when you were on the offensive line? Because are you
Did I
like
tell
little
that
league
story?
12, 13?
Yeah.
Were you the biggest kid out
no,
there?
I was the smallest, so I was small. That was his problem. So
Ah,
I was
I
a
got
running back in middle school, went to high school, and everybody was all taller than everybody, and I was a late bloomer, so I was short, like 5'3", like 137 pounds, kind of chubby.
Yeah.
So my coach put me to the side. We were short linemen. He goes, "Hey, look, you're too short to be a receiver, and you're too slow to be a running back. We got kids for that. Like, but you can block. So if you learn to get on the line, you'll actually see the field, and I actually got to see the field. So
I'm sorry I
was a lineman
laughed.
for 2 years.
I'm sorry I laughed, but I just had this moment. Like, my stepfather, shout out CP, whose birthday is coming up on Thursday. His favorite line in the movie, or one of them, is the Rudy scene. And it's not his favorite line because it's great acting, but it's just how funny he is. This is when Rudy is trying to tell Charles S. Dutton, who you remember in the Rock show back in the 90s, he's like, I got to make the team. I got to make the team. And Rock's trying to convince him otherwise. He said, you're 5'0" nothing. 100 and nothing. What are you trying to make the team?
Basically.
So when you
Solid.
said that,
Impression.
I went back to, I appreciate
Basically,
that.
that's
Rudy
what he said.
1994, check it
Yeah.
out.
He said it nicely though. He just said like, "Hey man, I
not
want
right.
you to play." He goes, "You stay over here, you're not gonna play. But if you go over there, you can play." And he was right.
How underrated was Rock, though?
It was a great show, and he's a damn good actor. Like, he's very convincing.
He is a good actor.
He was very convincing because he acted with a lot of conviction.
And I remember when that came out, the big deal was that he had served time. And they all talked about that. But I thought that it kind of lent him a credibility in his roles that he played.
100%. 100%. Speaking of roles, the Detroit Pistons got a new role player.
Oh, they got
The
a toy.
Detroit Pistons got a new role player. One that is from
They got a toy.
not too far away in terms of where he plays collegiate ball at the University of Michigan. Karis LeVert, free agent guard, has agreed to a 2-year, $29 million deal with the Detroit Pistons. Sources tell ESPN. Mark Bartstein. See, that's the problem. They don't have what's his name anymore. It's gonna drive me crazy. Woj. Remember, all of the information was coming from Woj. Now it's Shams 60% and 40%.
Shams the man.
The field, 100%. I come to you first. Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert is a guard that can play. He scores the basketball. He can shoot. He can create his own shot. This could be an exciting pickup. What say you?
I love it. And to all the people crying on my Twitter and on Woodward's Twitter, trying to say I don't know ball, I'm pretty sure you picked the Pacers to win the finals as well.
Oh, we got to talk about those Pacers too, because there's a move
Oh,
that
they're
happened.
done, Betty. They're done. We'll get to that.
100%.
We'll get to that. I've been telling you guys since April, when I saw Beasley as a top 10 free agent in this class, that's just cap. This is a guy who's been a journeyman, who can do one thing, and that's spot up, shoot the three. He doesn't create his own shot. He doesn't defend. And he was a nice piece here.
These are all facts, ladies and gentlemen.
Who was forced into extra time because Jaden Ivey went down. Did you like him being here? Was he fun? Yes, absolutely. Brought a little bit of comic relief with his little shimmy.
Too fun.
And he hit some big threes, but he disappeared in the playoffs, and he can't defend. And what you get in Karis LeVert is a guy that can score at all three levels. He can create his own three. He can spot up three. He can take it to the rack, and he's got a mid-range game. The guy is a bucket, all right? And if you go back to his days when he first came in the league with the New Jersey Nets, he was a well above average defender. Now, in Atlanta, where they don't like to defend, but they like to play passing lanes, obviously his defensive rating has sank a little bit. When he gets brought in to Bickerstaff's fold, basically, and they start pushing him to play defense the way that everybody else is playing defense. You even saw Beasley put a lot of effort into his defense. He's just not that good. Karis LeVert is a longer, more athletic defender and a guy that can score better. He's worth $14 million. In my mind, Beasley was not, and all of the people crying over this deal, you still have a half or at least a quarter of your tissue box left since you were crying over Jamal Williams leaving. But guess what? The Lions were better with Monty, and this is the same damn deal. The Pistons are better with LeVert.
Yeah, no, this is true. I believe that the Pistons are better with Karis LeVert. You look at the last couple of years, he's averaged around 14 points, give or take, 4 rebounds. That means he doesn't mind mixing it up, giving you some second chance opportunities. Also, you see he has some assists and steals in there. So it means he's a very active player when he's in the game. So excited about that. What would say you, Pete, about people with the energy? Because that's always a big thing. It was the energy. And you point to Jamal Williams 100%. The energy. He did the Pokemon thing, and he did the dress up and the weird stuff, and it worked for that year. Last year, rest in peace, Malik Beasley, he gave you some of that energy. He's the one championing the out when they first come out. You know, the intros and the punching and the dancing and synchronized things. And I think passing of the belt was even Malik Beasley's idea. But is he really that focal to the culture and what the Pistons have built?
I think so. I find it kind of interesting that Trajan Langdon is such a smooth character as he talks. You know, he's like a guy I play poker against all the time. He's a quiet talker. He brings his point out very, very. You know, he's very he's exquisite in the way he talks is the best way. But and then he brings on the court this animated, you know, type of team, which is completely opposite of what we get from Trajan Langdon in front of the microphone. And I love the energy that a guy like Karis LeVert is going to bring to the team. We already saw what it does for the Pistons. The Pistons were, what was the over-under? I think Anson for the beginning of the season was like 28 wins or something like that, or even less than that for the Pistons all season long. And they ended up, they overachieved this season, not based on just talent, but based on the energy that you're talking about, and that is so important. If you're going to win a championship, you need to feel good. And players like Karis LeVert and Malik Beasley, when he was here, like you said, God rest his soul, they provide that energy, and that's what makes the Pistons the Pistons.
Yeah, 100% well said, Pete. No,
Thanks,
look,
buddy.
man, at the end of the day, with Malik Beasley, look, I'm born and raised in Detroit, so I have a deep connection with this Pistons team, even going back before the current administration. So I appreciate what he did. To watch
Sure.
this team go from 14 to 44, to watch the energy to actually want to go to LCA. Like, Anson, I actually wanted to go to LCA.
Sure.
I actually was excited. I actually wasn't getting there, 5 minutes before halftime to go meet down in the tunnel and have some drinks with people. I was getting there 15 minutes before the game started so I can get to my seat, so I can have the conversation, but so that I can watch the game. So we appreciate that. With that being said, everybody is not supposed to take you to every level. People get dropped off, and I think this is the level to drop Malik Beasley off. I think what the intent is now with looking at the Pistons and being dialed in, a lot of little things with Malik Beasley I think can cause problems on the long end. I think Karis LeVert comes in. I think he's a better representation of what they're trying to be, not what they are.
Chucky Atkins, Cliff Robinson,
There you go.
Jerry Stackhouse.
Lindsey Hunter.
There you go.
Well, I mean, he came back.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
Yeah.
sure,
Yep.
and that's the thing is I do love our Detroit loyalty, and we
Yeah.
have it, but sometimes we have it to a fault. And it's hard to embrace somebody that hasn't been here yet when you liked a guy that did as much for the team as Beasley did. But Beasley made bets, or at least enough to get himself allegations to the point where this is a conversation. And now he's lost his $42 million contract. Now, Malik
Yes,
Beasley.
Malik
The
Beasley,
Malik
yes.
Sealy
Malik
thing's
Beasley.
got me confused.
That's
But
all, folks.
Malik Beasley,
Yeah.
his days in the NBA are not over.
No, not at all.
Okay. When the dust settles,
Somebody will have to pay him.
for sure. And the dust might settle in a week, but it may not settle for a year. He might sit out of basketball for
why
a
is
full
that?
year. Well, it took a year for these allegations to even surface. This happened in the 23-24 season when he wasn't even a Piston.
Right.
So a year later, I feel the Pistons had a little bit of a knowledge of this.
They
That's
knew
why-
that it would come down till after the season.
Well, and I think that they, at the very least, they knew before the draft, and I think that that's why they went with Chaz Lanier, a very similar archetype, instead of going after that stretch four that a lot of us want. But this is a unique situation because you could have a team that wants to take a chance on Malik Beasley, and that allows the Pistons to now sign and trade him. Something similar to where we were hoping to see Malik Monk come from the Sacramento Kings in exchange for them signing Dennis Schroeder.
Dennis
That's
Schroeder.
not happening from what it looks like. But down the road, that can still happen. We still maintain his bird rights, basically. And so there's a possibility that that could happen in trade. But there's also a possibility that
A lot of possibilities.
in a month, maybe he's cleared and he does come back to the Pistons. But whether it's right or not, you're not guilty until proven in this country. But allegations, they're bad news for contract negotiations. And this guy, whether he returns to the NBA this year or next year, he's taking a discount at this point.
Bray, before you answer, can I just quickly, just real quick, and also we haven't heard from the NBA as well. That's what I'm saying. So I just want to add that too, because what if the NBA decides to sit him for 40 games?
But that's what
So
we're
I'm adding that to
But
your
that's
point.
what we're talking about. Whether it's in a
yeah.
month or at the next year or at some point.
NBA won't step in until they know
Yeah.
it's
Think so?
coming.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
when
exactly.
the NBA
Right.
steps
That's
in.
what I'm
and,
saying,
and
yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But when it does happen, the Pistons will technically still have rights to him. So he is a piece that can be moved in a trade, or maybe he's a bargain guy that can actually be in red, white, and blue again. But personally, I think that Malik Beasley's days as a Pistons are over. We do thank him. It was a lot of fun. But I truly believe that Karis LeVert is a better fit for this team.
All right, for now, we'll put him on the shelf where he currently is. We'll get into two other players. You brought up Dennis Schroeder. He's probably leaving for the Sacramento Kings. What are you thinking about that move? Because he's a guy that, like you said, a journeyman, talking about Malik Beasley, but Dennis Schroeder's a guy that can play. And you saw him, he had, for lack of a better word, he had the impact that Alex Caruso had for the OKC Thunder, or to a way lesser extent, Pascal Siakam, players that have been there before that can play the game.
Yeah.
Not Pascal Siakam. Let me stick with Alex Caruso. That was crazy.
Pose the question to me again.
Him leaving in terms of the better leadership that he provided, do you think the players maybe learned a little bit what it means to be in that moment and take over and do certain things? Because he's gone, but is there any impact that he could have left?
Are you talking about Beasley still?
Schroeder.
Schroeder, I'm
Excuse
sorry.
me.
All right,
Dennis Schroeder.
rewind me to that. Schroeder, to me, is the Hendon Hooker, Teddy Bridgewater signing.
Gotcha.
The fact that they signed Teddy Bridgewater and the fact that You watch Schroeder come in here, and you didn't see 1 minute from Sasser in the playoffs. Don't let that be an indictment of inability. That is an indictment of inexperience. We needed a veteran quarterback for our playoff run. We needed a veteran point guard for our playoff run. I talked about it yesterday. As much as I loved Schroeder in the playoffs for us, as much as I would have liked to have seen him come back, this is, his 11th team in 17 years now?
At least.
And this guy, whatever it is, you saw some of the
He played himself. That's what happened.
Yes, the inflammatory remarks he made around the trade deadline didn't enamor himself to
remember
anybody.
he was about to get the bag? 4 years, $84 million?
Yeah.
He bet on himself.
Oh, yeah, man, lost.
And that to me is, I told Maz yesterday,
Sucker.
this guy wasn't coming back to Detroit because he's not a culture
Hogan.
fit. On the actual court, the guy was great. But to me, I think that it was a detriment to Sasser to not see him get any playoff experience. Sasser's a player, and we won't miss Schroeder because we have Marcus Sasser.
Marcus Sasser was given that Jason Tatum Olympic treatment.
Yeah.
Say, hey, just come over here and sit on the bench, man, and watch the show. Another Detroit Pistons signed, former Piston Paul Reed returns to the Pistons. 2 years, $11 million. We know this is nothing more than an intricate piece to a practice puzzle. When those guys practice, the guy that knows the system, the guys that can get the best out of your guys that are going to play, Seymour Floyd. That's what that is. Cool with that. We can put a pause on that. The Indianapolis Pacers. The Indianapolis Pacers just played 7 games against the OKC Thunder. They went the distance. Maybe if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get hurt, maybe they have a chance to win it. But we'll never know. But I don't think we'll ever know if they'll get another chance because Miles Turner is out.
He gone.
Miles Turner is now a Milwaukee Buck. Damian Lillard was waived, which is also interesting as well. But breaking news, free agent center Miles Turner has agreed to a 4-year, $107 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks, plus a player option for year 4 in 28-29, full 15% of the trade. This is from Sham Sharani. The Bucks found a creative pathway to stretch Lillard, whose $113 million will be stretched over the next 5 seasons while leaving their future draft assets untouched. In a stunning turn of events, Miles Turner departs to the Pacers to join the Bucks. Now, when you hear this, Anson and Pete and Ricky, first thing you think about?
Man, it's not just one little thing. I
When you
love
hear
this
this, lay it
move
out.
for the Bucks and for Miles Turner if Damian Lillard is not hurt. To me, this isn't a championship team with Miles Turner without Damian Lillard. It makes me think that Beef Stew is the reason that Miles Turner did not consider the Pistons after being told he plays with Legos.
Yeah.
During that whole confrontation at the end of that game.
100%.
To me, it's interesting because Miles Turner, I think that he's not making as much as he's worth when you see some of these contracts that are out there. B, the guy, he likes the Midwest. This is a guy that could have gone for either coast or for one of the big teams, but he elected to move even further north to Milwaukee.
Sometimes, you know what it is, and it's not to cut you off. Sometimes guys are just small-time guys.
And that's
They're
okay.
small-time guys.
And that's kind of why I thought we had a shot at him.
Maybe
So-
Detroit's too big for him. Shoot.
Hey,
Right.
well, I think Beef Stew is too big for him, and maybe he didn't want to be in a locker room with him.
Whoa.
Man, you and you guys
That's
pauses.
a timeout.
Well, the
pause.
flat out,
You got 5 seconds. You can't talk for 5
flat out,
seconds.
Miles Turner cannot handle the beef. That is for certain. But for me right now, what I'm saying is,
Wow.
this is like, if I'm 29 years
Where's the
old
beef?
and I know I can get this kind of money from the Pistons that are right on the precipice, and you tell me, hey, we're going to bring you here, but we're going to waive Damian Lillard to do it. Who the hell is this team? Who the hell is going to run this team? I know Giannis is the man.
So now that's the first thing I thought about. Giannis is point guard again.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, Giannis is point guard again. That's what got Giannis and those guys into trouble after they won the
100%.
championship
Right.
and before they won the
100%.
championship. They let him play point. He's got to push the ball up the court. Last time I checked, Giannis is not a point guard.
Go get Drew Holiday back from Portland.
Oh, he gone. He's gone. But also, too, with the Pacers, it's interesting because I think they made this move because they could save money. They're a small market team. And guess what? They already won a champion. They got to the championship. Tyrese Halliburton's not playing this year. He's not playing at all this year. They know they're not going to get to that point. So they say, you know what? Let's make a business-minded move.
Remember when Steph Curry was out for a few years ago.
100%. And
They got
Jordan
the number
Poole
2 pick. I mean, they didn't take a great pick
What is
by
it, Jordan
any means.
Poole?
No, who was the number?
Kaminga?
Yeah, no, it wasn't Kaminga.
Wiseman?
Yes.
James Wiseman.
They got him number 2. But
He was
they're
one
in
of those guys.
They're in a situation. The Pacers probably don't make the playoffs now.
I agree.
No Miles Turner, no Halliburton. I mean, I can't stand their whole fan base, but I almost feel bad for them. When you have a young team that's on the precipice, taking an OKC team to 7, like you had mentioned, and then you're literally like, we're a lottery team.
Yeah. It happens fast, ladies and gentlemen. It also happens fast at Dr. Pierce. You're talking about injuries, you can get healthy fast with Dr. Pierce.
That's right, man. Attention sports fans, don't miss out on the expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sport and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday, that was today, during Big D Energy, and Thursday during our show, Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy at DMAC and Mass Trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportandSpine.com or just call 248-426-9944. We'll be right back.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Second Best Bar in Detroit for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw, Easttown, and Ven Johnson.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, with the top brands of massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki, located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit right now at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan that QR code. Where is it? Right above me. Scan that QR code, man. These massage chairs do not play around. They swapped us out, but that Pharaoh was, man. Do they do financing? I might have to get one, man. Massage Chair House, your ticket to the ultimate recovery and relaxation.
They definitely subbed out Pharaoh for Black Jesus over there, but look,
Is that what it
nonetheless,
is?
the massage
It's like a
chair is
Lincoln.
dope. Speaking of massage chairs, you know where you can get a massage chair, man? The Hydro massage chair. It's at Planet Fitness, man. Come down, you get your membership, man. We have fitness that fits into your budget. Even the black card is not going to run you an arm and a leg. Look, there's no judgment. So you come to that because it's a judgment-free zone. Now we got to tap into these teens. Calling all teens 14 and 19. You work out for free. That's it. No catch, no gimmick. You're 14 through 19, you work out for free. We want to get you out of the house. We want to get you outside, man, because mental health is just as important as physical health. So come out. Nobody's judging you. We want you to work out, feel good. The gym's clean, squeaky clean. All summer long, the high school summer pass brought to you by Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. And I believe that. I come here every day and I tell you the same thing. Health is wealth. Fitness is important. You have to take care of it as well as eating. You got to do these things the right way. Everything in moderation, because you know, everything in moderation.
Use it or lose it.
100%. Tom Mazaway didn't join us today because he has a funeral, man. So if you could, send some love, some blessings, praise his way. I feel like Maz is losing a lot of people. This is like the third or fourth funeral that I know he's going to this year, man. So if you have time, take a moment, send a prayer up, man. I know his family could appreciate it. 100%.
Definitely.
Let's get into some football. I feel like we've been dealing with basketball for the last 6, 7, 8 months. It's almost football season. Pete told me something that I'll let him tell you. Pete, what did you tell me before the show started?
We have a preseason game at the end of this month. Am I correct, Mr. Edwards?
Ladies and gentlemen, football is almost back.
That's right. We have at least one game starting this month of professional football or college football all the way until February, baby. Let's start playing some pigskin.
100%. And that game features the Detroit Lions. It's the Hall of Fame game.
You going?
That's right, buddy.
100% it is. And the Lions are definitely excited to go. Here's just a quick synopsis of the 2025 NFL training camp locations. And answers to answer your questions, I haven't decided yet. It's not a long trip. I can make a stop in Cleveland. You know what?
Why would you do that, though?
You said what?
Why would you stop in Cleveland?
He's making amends.
I'm making amends. I'm extending the olive branch. At the end of the day, these are the camps and the times they start. The Lions obviously start first because whoever plays in the Hall of Fame game, and that will be the Los Angeles Chargers and Lions, you got to get your season off first. But the Lions are excited to get that season started. Quick. We won't dive into the Lions. Nothing much to talk about. There are some other teams, including a black and yellow team that is making some noise, or if you're Pete, white, turquoise, and orange making some noise. Lions, Hall of Fame game. It's around the corner. What are you excited for in training camp thus far?
I'm excited for the best Lions roster on paper that I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Okay.
Talk about it, Anson.
I mean, it's funny because I'm the SOL guy, but all that I am seeing all around Detroit is an SOL mindset. Talking about windows instead of long-term dominance. Talking about missing out on trades so we're not good enough. Now, these are the same people that were convinced that a team down 22 defenders was going to win the Super Bowl after Week 18 last year. And now because of a couple of assistant coaches and a couple of offensive linemen, despite all of the health that we now have and all of the young players that we've drafted and some of the free agents we've signed, people are jumping off the bandwagon.
I know.
I really just don't understand it. Up and down this roster, I don't see anything but the best Lions roster I've ever seen. And I will absolutely quadruple down on my belief that this team will be better suited taking a young offensive line to the playoffs than a hobbled one that they took into last year's playoffs.
I agree.
And going further beyond this year, it also behooves them to be able to get that young unit together and staying together. Hopefully, health assumed here, but you've got a very young line with really only one guy that's going to be replaced in the next couple of years. I'm hearing Gio Manu is going to make the active roster. You look at Mahogany and some of these new guys and Ratledge and Miles.
Give somebody else a chance.
I love what this Pistons look or what this Lions team looks like on paper right now.
Ricky, if he didn't take everything.
Yeah, I was going to say the offensive line. I was waiting for him to stop so I could jump in and say offensive line.
Jump in on the offensive line, man.
But that's what I'm most excited about, man, because that was something that none of us 2 months ago, I think even a month ago, had no idea that our offensive line was going to get shook up like it did, in the way it did at least. So I'm excited to actually see this. This is the first time I'm going to watch the preseason games because I want to see what's going on. I want to see what decisions they're going to make at the offensive line. And I'm excited to see what Penei Sewell is going to do because I know we got distracted by all the injuries last year. We forget that he was there the whole time. And I can't wait to see what he does with a completely healthy line.
I would have to agree with you on that too. Look, and this is in no way, shape, fashion, or form any type of disrespect to Penei Sewell, who's one of the best wide tackles in the game, if not the best second. Last year he had a couple moments. He had a couple lapses where he gave up some sacks. He gave up some pressures, you know what I'm saying? So he got beat a couple times, and then some big moments too. He still had a phenomenal year. Like, we're just not taking away from the greatness, but I know he wishes that he can have those plays back, and I think you're going to see somebody that comes in this year, Pete, that's like, nah, this is my next year. Because last year was the year before the season started. If you remember, he said, I want to take on that leadership role. I want to be the guy. This is what he said, not me. So when you talk like that, any little mistake you have, and when you have 6, this is something he's going to be looking at. So I'm with you. Yeah. Can't wait to see what he looks like this year.
This should be his year of being comfortable in that leadership role.
He should go to the predominantly known number 1 right tackle in the league. Yeah. Like, after this season, there won't be, is it him and Lane Johnson, or is it these guys? And no, after this year, it should be him and everybody else. Peter, what about you? What are you excited for just to start training camp?
I'm telling you what, Ryan Ermanni has said it best to us on this show many, many times.
Shout out to Ryan
Edwards and to our fans out there. He loves a good story. If you guys don't see all the different stories around the Lions going into this season, this is the most important preseason, the most important preseason schedule that the Lions have had in the BNL era. Now, I know the BNL era is only 2 years old, but this is where the Lions are going to prove who they are. You got a story in the backfield. We don't even know who Ennis Rakestraw is. Terry Arnold needs interceptions. We don't know which Alex Anzalone we're going to get with the linebacker gang. We got Tyreek Williams coming in. We got the offensive lineman that Anson Wells has talked about. What are we guys going to, all the mixing and matching that's going to go on there. We got a good quarterback. We got a good right. Guys, this is the team you want to be interested in all season long. There is going to be so much to follow. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely. One of the things that I thought about, it's not going to be my number 1, but it was right there, is, like you said, that draft class from last year. Who is Terry Arnold really when he's had a year to adjust, a year of coaching and coming back, understanding the rule? Who is Ennis Rakestraw even at all? Because of injuries.
I don't even know what it looks like.
100%. If I don't remember his draft picture, I don't remember him at all. However, who is he? Did they make a good move with that? Is this someone they reached on? What does that back end of the draft look like when you took some chances? You talked about Giovanni Manu. What does that look like? Is he going to make the squad? If he is that to the tune? He's in a backup role and we feel very comfortable. What does Sione Vaki, your guy, the guy that you said you want to draft, what does moving him around look like this year? So I definitely agree. Excited about that. For me, it's simple. Kelvin Shepard, unleash the defense. You thought the physicality was stronger before. This is what I love about this moment. Linebackers, it's a different type of intensity when they're coaches. Right. It's a different type. You can look at Singletary, you can look at Vrabel, you can look at DeMeco Ryans. It's a different energy with linebackers, and that's how it was when I played with them as well. I love it because Kelvin Shepard has massive shoes to fill.
Yes, he does.
It was the players that voted Aaron Glenn the number 1 coach, the number 1 coordinator. That's offense and defense. They voted for Aaron Glenn. He's now gone. Who are you? Who is this defense? Because we keep talking about, is Davenport going to be healthy? What's Aiden Hutchinson going to do? What's Jack Campbell going to do? Is it Terry and Arnold? Well, DJ had all the pass interference. Everybody knows that defense. A lot of people talking a lot about them. And I feel like their back's against the wall, their coach's back is against the wall. That's a match made in heaven for me. And that's what I'm waiting to see, that defense unleashed by Kelvin Shepard. Even more so than the offense. And ladies and gentlemen, I was a wide receiver.
You know, I like that take because everybody's so worried about losing the assistant coaches. And if anything, I think that you should be a little more excited about what this new team's going to look like, both defensively, as you mentioned, but also offensively. When I look at the defense that we played last year, we had too many secondary guys out there because of the injuries. Now we're flush and we're deep with defenders. You can play whatever you want as an incoming defensive coordinator. And then offensively, I felt like the Lions played desperate at times when they were the better team out there, when they could dictate tempo and pace. And instead, you got this guy who clamors for explosive plays, doing dumb stuff when all you need to do is smash ball.
Ladies and gentlemen,
football.
He was talking about Benedict Arnold over there.
I am. And so, to me, I think that the offense will suit this current team better instead of playing 2022 offense. And I think that the defense, this coordinator, I mean, AG, he would have loved to have had the talent that is on paper coming into this 2025 season. So, I think we're going to miss AG more so than we'll miss Ben, because I think that all of the offense was already doing it before he took over, and I think that the offense got even better. Two names that I love, and you guys are going to be surprised to hear this. J-Mo's going to get extended by the Detroit Lions.
Called it.
This kid's done everything right in the offseason. I've always been a fan of the kid, but I have to be realistic, and when you look at guys make dumb moves, it costs them money, and often it changes their uniform. They end up in a different city. But this guy has done nothing but everything right all summer long. He's very, very endeared. He's endeared himself big time to the coaching staff. In fact, he might be one of the favorite players on the team. And the fact that you drafted Dominic Lovett, who is the direct replacement for Khalif Raymond after this year, and you get a guy named Isaac Tesla, who's going to replace Tim Patrick after this year, you are almost to the contract dollars that you need to pay J-Mo to keep him around just in letting those two guys go. So people are so afraid of letting go of guys like Malik Beasley, like Jamal Williams. But again, referencing guys like Jamal Williams, Cliff Robinson, you have to say goodbye to people you love sometimes to get over the bar.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely correct. Dan Campbell, Jared Goff. Well, they've been talking about this show on Netflix called Quarterback. Well, our
fun.
very own Jared Goff, he gets to join the show this year, and here's Dan Campbell and Jared Goff talking about QB.
Remember the call, and I remember my excitement, and I wanted to make sure he understood how excited we were, how excited I was. You're going to be part of the foundation. We're going to build this from the ground up. You're going to be a huge part of this, and you're ours. Like, you belong with us. We're going to be tied to the hip.
It kind of brought me from this moment of like picking up the pieces to like reinvigorated with this energy of like, oh, like this is what it feels like to truly be wanted and to have, you know, these guys behind you, and I hadn't felt that in quite some time.
So this is where I want to start. This is where I want to start. Score is what they call it in movies and TV. The score is what makes the moment. When I was just watching that, like, I know I'm not the only one. You start to get goosebumps because the music brings up, you know, the contract, and then you start to think about all that he had to overcome, and he wasn't this and he wasn't that, and they threw him away in the 25th hour. Like, movies make it. Like, I legitimately was watching, you know, For the Love of the Game right there, or you're watching
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night. Yeah. That's the one. That's what it really sounded like.
All I know how to do is play football.
You're just making
That's the one it sounded like. Friday Night Lights in the championship game. God. That's it right there.
You're just making me think about forgetting Sarah Marshall right now.
Oh, there's another
dark,
one.
ominous music.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That movie was wild.
That movie's great.
The fact that he really made that a song is wild, but he found his lane in that. But just getting back to that, man, 100%, I think this is going to be great. But this is cool to see. It's cool to see in that moment because we talk about it so much and what the connection was from 2021 and Jared Goff and Dan Campbell and what they could be to now. This is them when they signed the deal last year, in my mind, to bring Jared Goff back. I would say it's just a dope moment, and it happened here. It happened. He's a Lion. And when you hear that, what do you think?
I need one question asked of Jared Goff in this television series.
Can you not throw interceptions in the playoffs?
Right. No, that's not the question.
It's
a good question, but not the question I would ask.
Okay.
The question I would ask him is, where does the sun set?
Does he not know? Did he mess that up before?
When the first, what do they call that? Hard Knocks. The very first Hard Knocks was the Rams, and he was a rookie, and they asked him, and I think he said the North.
We said the North.
Really?
Sunsets in the North.
So I was so down on Jared Goff.
West Coast?
Listen. Speaking on behalf of Jared Goff, I've been hired to be his representation. You know, he's not worried about where the sun rises and sets. He's worried about throwing touchdowns and less interceptions. So I'm speaking for Jared right now. It doesn't matter where the sun sets, as long as the ball gets to the end zone.
He's changed my opinion of him since that clip as he's donned the Honolulu blue, but that one stuck with me still to this day.
You know what's great? This is funny. This is real funny. You know what Jared Goff is, and this is not a shot at a Michigan State guy before I start this.
He's wearing green though, guys. Just remember.
Look, man, green's a beautiful
It looks
color,
white,
man.
but it is green, and he has green shorts on as well. Just to clarify.
So the shirt is mint, which is a form of green, and the shorts are green. They're forest green.
He has so many different terms for different greens, but he never wears Spartan green, Rick.
He knows his
brush.
Pantone.
See, this is brush green and mint brush. Okay, that's a new one. That's a golfer's term.
Mint and
This
brush.
is brush. The thing that's cool about Jared Goff, though, is getting back on track is he's authentic in what he does. Like, and it's not disrespect to Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins feels like an act. Like when he's on the plane, he's doing the things, and then you extend it past the plane. Like Kirk, you watch the show, and he's a Walmart guy, and it seems like the act. Jared Goff just seems like this is exactly who he is. He does some things with guys in the locker room sometimes. Paul, that sounded weird. But like putting the chain on or doing something. Like having jokes, if you will. He just seems like a very authentic individual that I think not only his teammates, like you said, Anson, I think the city of Detroit has fallen in love regardless of, a couple interceptions here or there. I think it's authentic, and he makes you feel like this is where he wants to be, and he's trying to win here.
Kirk Cousins feels like the high school quarterback. And he never stopped acting like that.
Married to college,
homecoming
cheerleader.
king, and cool guy, but doesn't really give anybody time. He's nice. Yeah, but everybody still wants to get his attention because he's the quarterback and the big guy in the room. Jared Goff, looking back at him saying, I don't know, in the North, off rip, you kind of think maybe he's dumb, but really what we've come to realize is he just doesn't take himself overly serious. And I think that's the type of guy and personality you need to fit in here in Detroit. And you need a lot of touchdowns.
And he definitely has a lot of touchdowns. Another guy that had a lot of touchdowns at one point, then chose to retire for a year, now is back from retirement, is my man Darren Waller. Went through some things last year in the space of
so glad you brought this up.
In the space of mental health, as in, in the space of his girlfriend issues, blah, blah, blah. Became a rapper for a brief stint.
Of course.
And now he's back. Darren Waller's a damn good tight end. Vegas is where he made his bones, but now he's going to the Miami Dolphins. So, Pete.
Sir.
As well as Anson, I know you guys are excited about this because there was also some other moves made by the Miami Dolphins. So let's just throw them all out there. As we get all the same team, we can talk about the Dolphins. Yanu Smith, as well as Minka Fitzpatrick to the Miami Dolphins, Darren Waller. What are your thoughts on the Dolphins first? And then we'll get to that team in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I didn't think that Minka was a guy that you'd ever see leave Pittsburgh, but I like the deal for both teams. Yep. Pittsburgh's got a strong enough secondary. They brought in Calhoun, I believe.
Yep.
And so him next to Elliott, that's solid. They needed a stopper at corner, and they got it. You add Jonnu to I'm blanking of. The kid, the other tight end over there, Freiermuth. Thank you. You give Aaron Rodgers a lot of nice targets. You draft the running back to complement. Isaac? I can never remember that number 30, the running back. Jalen Warren. Thank you. A guy that truly isn't a number one, and you bring in a bruising back that I like a lot. To me, this screams we can't retool or rebuild. I'm Mike Tomlin, and I'm gone if we miss the playoffs. We have 1 year of Aaron Rodgers, and we have to make it count. Even if you don't win a Super Bowl, you have to make the playoffs. And if you make the playoffs as Mike Tomlin, you can say, hey, look, we traded a bunch of our pieces to win now. You have to give me a little more time.
Pete, do me a favor. Put that back up there. I'm going to dive into Pittsburgh a little bit.
Sure.
Then, Pete, I want you to talk about the Dolphins.
Yep.
Here we are. Notable acquisitions for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is now your quarterback. DK Metcalf is your $34 million receiver. Yanu Smith, you just acquired from Miami Dolphins, along with cornerback Jalen Ramsey, as well as a player in Detroit that Darius Slay. This tells me this. This is win or blow up for the Pittsburgh. Actually,
100%.
This is win and blow up, period.
Yeah, it really is.
This is win and blow up. I think Pittsburgh is finally going to do what people have said they should have done years and years ago. They've never had a full blow up. It's let's keep some fragments. And Ryan Clark has talked about this, until he's red in the face. They are no longer the Pittsburgh Steelers that they used to be. They were trying to hold on to the aesthetic. Defense-wise, they're still helping up. That's why they got rid of Minka, and that's why they brought in Jalen Ramsey. They were pretty good on defense. I think they finished 11th in total or 9th, but they were 25th in passing, and they were 18th in terms of pass plays given up. That's why they went and got a cornerback in Jalen Ramsey. We are going after it all. We are arming defense as well as offense. Aaron, you got your weapons in the backfield as well as on the line of scrimmage. We're going for it all, and we're going to blow it up next year and start all new.
How about those practices between DK and Jalen Ramsey?
Oh, my goodness sakes.
And they're both diva/physical type players. Like, they're divas, don't get it wrong, but they also bust their you-know-what.
And their history against each other.
100%.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun, but once you get on the same team, like me and Darrell Reeves had kind of like a history like that. He gets drafted in 2007. We play him that first year. And this is the year where Reeves locked everybody up. This is the island. This is the island. This is when he locked T.O. up. Then he locked Andre Johnson up. And then it was outing I just played in. Calvin, he locked all his guys up. He ain't lock your boy up. You know what I'm saying? Your boy, I had 80 and a touchdown. But when I got to, I'm being honest.
I'm not.
I got to talk to.
I would expect nothing less, my friend.
Look it up. One-hand touchdown to be exact. But when I got to New York, we had like a rivalry built up. But what we use it to make ourselves better. Like legitimately, we're doing one-on-ones. We're betting 1,000 to practice. Like, hey, look, man, I'm gonna get open, or I'm gonna lock you up. But it just took that rivalry. Iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
Sharpens iron. He's like, yo, look, what did you do on this? And then whenever I would have success, what did you do on this? What was the route designed to do? And then when he would get me in some coverage, I say, why did you use your left hand as opposed to your right when you're on this side? So that makes you better. When you get to the games, Anson and Pete, and Rick,
boy.
when you get to the game is easy.
Yeah.
Game's easy.
Going against Marlon Jackson at Michigan, man, when I got to the actual game, Leon Hall, first-round draft pick at corner. Marlon Jackson, first-round draft pick at corner. Games were easy.
Yeah.
Practice was the hard part.
Yeah.
Battles, like true battles in practice, lead to the playoffs.
All right.
That's true.
One thing we didn't address, does this make the Steelers better? What does this do for you and your thought process of, you know what, where are we, 257?
Yep.
Let's put a pin on that because where does that take you with the Steelers? Also, I want to hear what you think about Mike Daniels and the Dolphins because this might be the year. Go ahead, Anson.
Yeah, I got a little window just to let you guys know. Appreciate all of the super chats. We'll run through them real quick. Michael Wary, he loves to get us started. He did today as well. DeVries, he would have been a 5-star offensive tackle out of high school, except for the fact that he stunk. And he wants to give a slot to Crazy Clown on the wheel. Michael Wary, he hasn't decided, but he will let me know. Sounds like he wanted to get things started real bad. I was a little late to the chat. Rando Smalls, never been so calm going into the season, and that is based on his belief in this Lions roster. Rando Smalls, again, I'm also excited to see what kind of defense Kelvin Shepard has. Another chat just came in. We'll read that in a second, too, from Michael Wary. As a true sports fan, and I love my teams, will be way better than you all expect. The Lions, that is. Just can't wait to watch football. Also, Goff meant that the sun will set in the D when he wins us the Super Bowl.
I like it.
Guys, we got a bunch of cards here.
Whoa. Is that
George
the animal
steal?
I have a story
right
about
there.
that later on.
Pretty amazing. Now, this one right here is a 1977 vintage Marvin Webster. You guys don't see a whole lot of those old school cards, so I figured I'd bring that in. And then, of course, a big shout out to Freddie Felt, who keeps you guys looking good with all of his stuff he brought in to donate. Got a Tigers batting glove, and honestly, you guys have brought it. We've hit the threshold here, so Pete, let's double the slots for the second hour again.
Hey, we're getting active today.
That's right, and we're at 60 likes. You guys are crushing it. Make sure you get us to 100 like you did yesterday.
They are crushing it today.
We got
Proud
a whole
of the chat.
hour left.
Woo. All right, let me tell you about White Claw right now. 3 down and 1 to go in the White Claw Tigers Tour, sponsored you by Vin Johnson Law, as well as White Claw. Duh. July 8th at Second Best. Look, this is the last one we're going to do. You see the Tigers are rocking and rolling. Shout out to my man Brady Wood, who put together an amazing time. He set all this up. It's easy. All you got to do is come down, man. All you got to do is come down, kick it with us at the White Claw Tigers Tour, Second Best, July 11th. It's right around the corner. Like, remember, we were talking about this before the season, and now all of a sudden, it's one game left to the Tigers White Claw Tour. Come, support, and have fun. We'll be there.
Are you a real true Detroit sports fan, Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Belegian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
New Detroit sports merch, man. I know you want some. I know you need some. It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Shop.woodwardsports.com is where you need to go to get all your Detroit sports merch. Red Wings, Pistons, Lions, Tigers. We got you, man. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads. Shop.woodwardsports.com is where you need to go, man. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear. Check out the latest designs right now. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Once again, shop.woodwardsports.com. Get your merch there.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. We like simple stuff, like not re-signing gamblers. We like uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, where you can walk in, sign in, and before you know it, your hair is looking good. Lady Jane's, it's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Welcome back, Braylon Edwards, Anson Wells, top of the hour. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening. It's very funny when you do that read. You always get very relaxed and calm. It's almost kind of like a late night show.
It's like simple stuff. It's uncomplicated.
There you go. That's where I look for Ricky. Quiet Storm. Hey, how you doing? This
Quiet
is Braylon
Storm with
Edwards, V98.7. It's 10 o'clock in the midnight dial.
Man,
I just want to talk to you tonight, man. You know, how's your day going? You know, what seems to be the stress levels in your life? Call the number. That number is 735.
313-289-9870.
The AM voice is strong. I want to hear the FM voice next.
All right. You got to start yelling into the microphone. Look, we were diving into a little bit of the new look NFL. I asked you about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've added some pieces. They added some notable pieces, some guys that actually can play, still have a little bit of juice left. What does that do for you with these Steelers? Because nobody was buying Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers per se. Any change now?
Well, first and foremost, for me, it always comes down to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's done more with less. The guy is a perennial playoff coach. In fact, he's never missed it in his entire career. To me, he's kind of the A.J. Hinch of the NFL. So now you give him a quarterback. And
he's missed it. He's never had a losing record.
He has missed it. I
The
thought
playoffs.
I thought
he's missed the playoffs. He's just never
missed the playoffs.
He's just never
He
had a
has.
losing record.
Okay.
He's been
never
eight.
been
He's
below
been 8 and
500.
8 and not made the playoffs.
Okay,
Right.
I stand corrected. But this guy, he does a lot with little. He's also won championships with plenty. But he gets himself a quarterback for the first time, I mean, realistically, since Ben Roethlisberger left. There hasn't been.
But like Ben, like 4 years before the end. Like
Yeah.
Ben was bad the last 3 years.
Sure.
Yeah, to your
He
point.
had a lot of injuries as well as a lot of personal stuff going on.
Hey.
Aaron Rodgers, who's not without personal issues as well, this guy, he wants to leave the NFL the right way. And he wasn't able to do that after missing a year with the Jets. And let's be honest, the Jets were just a mess last year. So you bring him in and you give him weapons. You take out a problem child in George Pickens, who I love talent-wise, but no one loves this guy personality-wise. And you get him out of there and you bring in a guy that just works his ass off all the time in DK. We're already hearing reports that the two are working together and they're establishing chemistry. Now you add in a guy like Jonnu Smith, who, for me, taking him away from Tua and taking him out of that offense when he was a top 3 tight end out of nowhere last year.
Correct.
Very, very surprising to me. But I think their defense got better with these trades, and I think that you get all of the offensive weapons you need to give Aaron Rodgers that true opportunity to leave on top. And I'm not saying a Super Bowl. I'm not even saying a Super Bowl appearance. But I believe this team will be back in the playoffs.
Side note, Aaron Rodgers said something finally that I agree with. He said that, actually, do we have that?
Yeah,
please?
I got it.
Yeah, let's just play it.
Aaron, Kobe or LeBron? Kobe or LeBron? Kobe, all the way. Yes, that's all you need to hear. That's all you need to hear. That's all you need to hear.
You go, Aaron. We finally agree on something. I definitely believe that Kobe Bryant is a better basketball player than LeBron James. Just saying. The only thing I think about that debate, and it was interesting. This is not mine, so I can't take credit for it. Who was saying this? I think it was Rashad McCants. He's never my favorite, but sometimes at Gilbert Arenas, like it gets to a space where it's fun to watch them come back. He said, Mamba's not here to defend himself. Because remember, it was like all of a sudden, like Kobe just got jumped and skipped, and then it was all of a sudden Kobe's not in the top 10, and it was like the disrespect was real. That all happened in 2019. Like once he passed, it was like, all right, cool. Got that out the way. Let's skip over him. I think he's right. The fact that Kobe can't lobby for himself, because a lot of people wouldn't say a lot of ish if Mamba was still here, because y'all know he told Jordan, I'm better than you. And he almost lived up to that to a certain extent.
So I'm really intrigued with Jordan returning to the fold this coming season. He's going to be broadcasting. And Jordan, I don't think he ever had to defend his legacy up until recently. Personally, I don't think that LeBron is in the argument with Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan has largely been silent while LeBron's been out there anointing himself because he won a championship with Cleveland, not having to play Draymond. I think that Jordan's going to have a lot to say. And I think that he started saying it in his 10-part autobiography. And after that,
I loved it all.
At this point, I think that he's just going to be forced into the spotlight. And Jordan has never been one to mince words. He's not going to tell you outright. He's going to put it poetically, but then he's going to drop the mic. And in my heart of hearts, I'm going to say I know that Jordan believes Kobe is a better player than LeBron James. And I'm just very, very curious if we're going to have the GOAT start saying those type of things.
That is actually, it's very well said, because I think it is a level, that's what could come from that. You got Michael Jordan on TV. Obviously, people perceive him in this way. He perceives himself. What is he going to say? I don't know if Mike will take the bait. I think there's a way in which Mike is going to have, because Mike is the type of GOAT, like you said, never had to play GOAT. So he has a type of prestige about himself where he won't even fall into little small banter. The old saying, crows don't fly with, or eagles don't fly with crows.
He's always got poetic answers that
he's gonna get crafty.
Yes, that dance around the subject. However, the national sports world will latch on to every vowel and syllable and word and sentence that man says and spin it for their own heart's desire. But it's going to be out there. He's going to be back on TV, and everybody's going to get a chance to see him again. And a lot of these young people that didn't get a chance to see him play, and really outside of The Last Dance, have never even really seen much in interviews with him. Maybe just a crying meme. That's about it. So I think that it's going to be healthy for the young basketball fans. I think it's going to be healthy. It's going to be a bridge between the generations, in fact. I think you're astute in the fact that he's going to be an artful dodger when those questions do come up. But anytime he even is asked or lingers near the topic, the spin doctors throughout the United States and the world will be weighing in on who the GOAT is, where Kobe and LeBron rank, and I've got my popcorn for it.
Yeah, you know somebody else I have my popcorn for too. That's the head coach of Miami Dolphins, Mike McDaniel. I think all is on the line for him down in Miami. He started off as the wonder kid, took a bit of a turn last year. It's going to be an interesting year. My guy Pete over here, though.
I'm telling you, man.
He's buying into what these guys are selling. So, Pete, tell us why you're buying.
I'm just saying that we're going to have a really interesting AFC season coming up in the NFL, guys. You know, we all went over those predictions, Braylon, you and Ryan and Maz and everybody. And Anson, I think you did too, as we were getting into the offseason for the NFL. We all basically agreed that the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, the Houston Texans, and the Kansas City Chiefs are pretty much the four top teams in the AFC. I mean, barring anything crazy. But we were trying to figure out who's going to make the playoffs. And, you got guys, you brought up a good point, Braylon, about teams that are, going to give it all to win. You got Mike Tomlin, who's ready to give Aaron Rodgers the ball, and Aaron Rodgers already says this final season, and I don't care how old you think Aaron Rodgers is, not you, Braylon, but all of our fans out there and everybody listening. I don't care how old you guys think Aaron Rodgers is. Seasoned. He's going to be throwing all day long. 35 throw. I mean, they're gonna spend him. It's his final season. I think Mike Tomlin's gonna pull the string like on the doll and let the doll throw. And then on the back end, you got the Miami Dolphins. I mean, and also the Steelers are competing with the Bengals in the same division with the Ravens. It's gonna be a bloodbath. And now you got the Miami Dolphins coming in with a crazy offense with a quarterback who hopefully won't get his brain scrambled for the fifth time. If that does not happen, then you got the Miami Dolphins looking for blood too, Braylon. The AFC is going to be cooking, and Mike McDaniel, if he doesn't get it done this year, I'm going to call this right now, guys. You can call me out here. You can mark this one down. If Mike McDaniel doesn't get it done this year after that trade with this offense of Tua Tagovailoa, Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Tyreek Hill.
You don't even know half those people.
Well,
Waddle.
I don't
Pete,
have
I'm
my
just
glasses
messing
on
with you.
because Westbrook and Kanye. You got Darren Waller. I know they don't have a defense, so my whole point: Miami Dolphins are going to be playing for 35, 32 games. 35 to 32 games is what they're going to play. This is going to be a bloodbath coming up, and if Mike McDaniel doesn't get it done for the Dolphins this year, he's done.
Unless Tua gets injured for the season. If Tua's healthy all year, I definitely double down on that.
I hear you.
Frame this right here. You got this is what excitement looks like. My man Pete is ready. He's tapped into the season.
I'm telling you, man.
Maybe. We'll see what happens with the Dolphins. I tell you like this, with the defense they have. Remember that game they put up 70 on the Denver Broncos?
Yep.
They better have about 15 of those in the bank.
You better believe that.
They better have about 15 of those in the bank.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
We got a super chat in, and
go ahead and tell us what the super chat says over there.
This was Randall Smalls. He wants to know if the Lions will have practices open to the public, and I have that scheduled for you here. Saturday the 26th of July is open to season ticket holders only. That following Monday and Tuesday, the 28th and 29th, are both open to the public. But if you do go to prideofdetroit.com, you'll be able to find that schedule. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 practices open to the public, and 3 of those involve the Dolphins and Texans. So get down to Allen Park, guys.
Nice.
There is small note in the world of NHL as the NHL free agency begins today. The Wings re-signed Patrick Kane to a 1-year deal for $3 million. Last season, 21 goals and 38 assists in 72 games. He joined the Red Wings in 2023 after missing the start of the season due to a hip fracture. Well, he's back. What say you, Pete? What does this move do for you? They bring back a guy that, has paid probably his best hockey. His days are behind him, but he adds to that element in the locker room. What say you? Well,
I don't want to get I'm not going to get too dramatic on it. Obviously, Steve Yzerman's under a lot of pressure, guys. I mean, if you check out, Woodward
is he
Wings,
though? Is he under
absolutely, 100%.
And I love Ronnie. And shout out to Ronnie Illich. Saw him yesterday. Cal was out. This is a fair question to ask. It's not about Chris. It's about Steve. Is he under pressure, or are they like, we just got a new coach towards the end of the year. Let's roll it out for another year.
Nah, not in year 5, Bray. I mean, poor Steve Yzerman. He's kind of going down the road of Joe Dumars. It's not. I don't want to start blaming, like saying it's his fault or saying it's Chris Ilitch's fault. I do have an opinion on it. I just think that honestly, after what the Pistons getting into the playoff, being the renter of the landlord, getting into the playoffs before the Red Wings is. Personally, it looks to me on Steve Yzerman's face, he's ticked off, and he's embarrassed by that. That's the Red Wings building. They should have been in the playoffs before the Pistons. This is ridiculous. And right now, I think that bringing back Mr. Kane is a very smart move because Steve Yzerman's trying to tell his young players, and he's trying to tell the Red Wing fans that he needs the leadership on the ice to help these younger players get their butts moving. And the kind of guy you need is Kane. And it's kind of like, it's kind of like they're propping Kane up. Like, he wants to retire. He wants to go home. But the Red Wings are like, we just need you. We just need you. So it really comes down to...
what it reminds me of? It's like Major League.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the catcher's name?
Right, when they bring Tom
Berenger.
When they bring Jake, whatever. When they bring Jake out of retirement because his knees are gone.
Jake is gone.
They just need him. So they need Patrick Kane. If the Red Wings can't... Guys, I'm going to say something right now. I question Dylan Larkin wearing the C.
Jake Taylor.
I'm really going to start something right now. I question Dylan Larkin wearing the C. And I want to see what the chat thinks about that because there's a reason why Patrick Kane is coming back, and there's a leadership issue on the ice.
All right, see, you had me until you said that. Look, man, Dylan Larkin, he donned the colors. Amazing blue, man. I can't let you talk about my fellow
I'm not
Wolverine
trying to
like
be that way.
But at the same time, like, what hasn't Dylan Larkin done in his stint here? We already know Dylan Larkin is not the superstar of Austin Matthews. He's not the superstar of, insert player here. However, damn good player. He's been a leader, and he's been working with, like we say about all the other teams who are now evolved, he's been working with what the Red Wings have placed before him. Yeah. But to your point, you feel as though there's more he can do and hasn't?
There's that part of the C that he wears that is not on the ice, that leadership quality that Steve Yzerman had, because we called Steve Yzerman the captain.
Captain.
Because you knew when he got on the ice, he was in control. Sometimes, Dylan Larkin looks like he's 85% in control. Okay. He doesn't have that 100% Yzerman-ish type style.
Yeah, Yzerman played with some greats, too.
He can miss the playoffs next year, and he'll still be back the year after. It's Yzerman. And when you close the Steve Yzerman chapter, you can never reopen it. I mean, when was the last time Joe Dumars was in town?
Right.
He didn't come to the last game at the Palace. We haven't seen him here at all. Right. And to Braylon's point last week, I mean, he sits number 2 of the most important drafted Detroit Pistons in history. Not because he won 2, but because he won 3, a third as a GM. Right. And everyone in Detroit wants to afford Steve Yzerman that opportunity. And for better or worse, you are married to this man for a little bit longer. And I think that if you're the Red Wings, you've got to figure out a point where you do everything you can to make sure this guy gets a chance to be in the playoffs. And then once he makes the playoffs, which will happen in the next 2 years, right on, he's just cashed another 3-year deal. He will be here for a while. This is Hockey Town, and that's the king of hockey in this town, as long as you're not old enough to know who Gordie Howe is.
I just think that in the 100th season, it's the 100th season, you're going to have to get this one right. This is a must-get-right season. And Steve Yzerman, among all of us, know that more than any of us do. And I think that he's trying to do what he can. I don't know It's just a big mystery to me, and I don't know about you guys out there. It's just a mystery to me because I don't know who's at fault right now for the Red Wings not performing. Is Chris Ilitch not giving Yzerman exactly what he needs to run this team, or is Steve Yzerman not making the correct moves with the money that Chris Ilitch is providing him?
Feels like both.
It could be a little bit of both, and I think that we need in the 100th season to get this thing correct, get back to the playoffs. When I was growing up, guys, the Red Wings make the playoffs all the frickin' time. Get back to that.
Look, I love this Pete, man. This guy is fired up.
Thanks, buddy.
Pete, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Tell me what the next read is, because we got to get to a quick commercial
sorry,
break,
did I?
man. See, Pete's so fired up, man.
It's the new one for you, my friend.
It's
the new one for you.
This guy is ready to
We
rock
have a
and
brand
roll.
new
Ladies and
sponsor.
gentlemen.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, is this a new one? I bought this in myself. I'm excited. We had
Let's
to get
go.
on the chart, man. We had to get a restaurant and a bar and grill in here that you can vibe to, have some drinks with, take the family, take the wife, take whoever you want to do, and it's Black Rock Woodward. We're teaming up with them. Heating up and new sizzling partner with the Black Rock Bar and Grill, where you get steak on a stone served at 755 degrees on a volcanic rock. It's more than a meal in this experience. Enjoy lunch starting at $8.99. Anybody can afford $8.99. It's a lunch. You can have it. Black Rock. It's ambiance. It's experience. They're open, rocking from hours 3 to 6 on daily specials. Come hungry and rock your steak. Only at Black Rock Bar and Grill. Now, we'll say this. We always tell you, we only go where we partner up. I was at Black Rock before I went to the movies this past Saturday. Took my mom, my dad, and girl. It was amazing. You gotta come down to Black Rock sometimes.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Baligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media: X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
There you go. Another QR code just appeared above my head. You might as well scan it. That'll take you to Caesars Sportsbook. Use the code word over there, Woodward1000. Open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you do so, make your first deposit and your first bet of $20 or more. If your first bet happens to lose, you get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head. Don't do that, Malik Beasley. And use the code word Woodward1000 to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account.
Les Stanford, Buick and GMC has great offers for everyone. Get a 2025 Envision Preferred all-wheel drive for only $259 a month, or take a step up to that 25 Hummer EV SUV for only $699. Or you can find yourself in a 25 Sierra double cab elevation for only $169. You get yourself to Les Stanford today and check out that massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. You can find them at lesstanford.com. Oh, and gentlemen, together.
Let's drive.
Let's drive, baby.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for that very
You prompted that one. You prompted that one.
Pornographic voice that you were displaying right. Quick deviation. I want to get back into basketball, Anson. I know you do too. Let's start in the world of the WNBA. Now, we bring this story up. Obviously, has something to do with Caitlin Clark. All-Star voting is in, and Caitlin Clark is she's rated the 9th.
Paige the Panderer Beckers up on top, pandering to the fans.
Paige cold, man.
She is, but she's not as good.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark continues players rank her the 9th best guard in the WNBA. And she's second, so she's ranked 9th best.
The player rank is in the third column there.
You said what?
The player rank is in the third column. Yeah, it's kind of a weird graphic.
This is where they stand now. Okay, media rank 3.
Yep.
Media rank 5.
Player rank.
You know what I see right there?
Yeah.
An All-Star MVP for Caitlin Clark.
100%. She right now is currently second in the league with assists at 8.9 a game. Yep. She is 12th in points with 18 points a game, and she's 36 in rebounds. Like that matters.
And first in hard fouls taken.
She's definitely been receiving some blows, but at the end of the day, what say you? They got to rank 9th, and this is coming from the players. There's 13 teams, soon to be 14. Detroit getting the WNBA team back, but 13 teams. She's ranked 9th. That will change, won't it?
The whole Caitlin Clark thing is so racially charged that people can't get away from it.
But is it racially charged? Because
it is, because the top 3 players on that list are all white, right. and this league is supported by white fans for the most part. Okay. When you look at the actual play of these players, there should be some black women higher on that list, period. Yes. But when you look at what Paige said before she became a pro, she went out of her way multiple times to show love to the black women that were the pioneers in the WNBA. Right. Caitlin Clark is straight away from the race talk. She just goes out and plays. And as great as Paige Beckers is, and I'm not taking anything away from her game, she should be no higher than 4th or 5th on this list.
At least already, yeah.
Yeah, and so when you take a look at the way that the players ranked Caitlin Clark, if you're ranking a girl as only number 9 in the league, then why are you double and triple teaming and pulling and scrapping and holding and doing all the things that you're doing if you don't believe that this girl's a top 3 player in the league? So to me, Paige has played the game perfectly, while Caitlin has been caught up in a racial firestorm. That's the only reason she's not sitting on top of that list.
Fair enough. Let's get into
nothing from you on that.
In terms of what Caitlin,
I'd love to hear your reaction to what I said.
I think it's more about her being given everything. That there was some race deals as related to her and Angel Reese. That was more so in the comment section. That was the comment section. That wasn't necessarily them. As it relates to Caitlin Clark and what she's dealing with, I just think women are so catty. We talked about this on the show when Ryan was here. It's who is this girl? We were talking about girls. They start beefing when they're kids.
Yeah.
Girls hold on to beef forever. And you can't just come in and be her, as they say him. You can't come here and be H-E-R, even though you're bringing in more money to the sport, better TV deals. Now we're not flying coach anymore. Now we're actually flying. Now arenas are selling out. Now we're getting paid. Now we're getting shoe deals. Like, they look at it as, who in the hell do you think you are?
But she doesn't act like it.
No,
she just executes.
100%, but they can't see past that.
I know.
And I don't know what the underneath layer that we don't know. Like, just seeing what I see hate.
I think that Juju Watkins will be the most important player to enter the WNBA in years. As much as Caitlin did, and now Paige being this divisive other really skilled white girl there, I think that Juju has, that's my favorite female basketball skill set I've ever seen on a basketball court.
The one thing we always thought, the one thing in this situation with Caitlin, because you asked Maz, you asked everybody, I was trying to get them to watch Caitlin Clark 2 years before. This is when Paige Beckers won Player of the Year. I was trying to get them to watch Caitlin Clark. But when you watch her, she can just shoot the blood. Like, in college, she could do some of the other things, but, like, in terms of the WNBA, like, she can just shoot the blood. She can't mix it up. She can't put it on the court. She can't get to the cup, freak you inside and out. Oh, here's a dish. Here's a drop-off. Her game is predicated on being able to shoot from half court. And it's amazingly beautiful and dope when it goes in. Amazingly. But when it doesn't, you see some of them 11-point nights.
Yeah.
You see some of them 11, 10, 9-point nights, and when she's trying to get other places. Juju can play the game at all aspects and levels.
And they'll still hate on her.
She plays like Chris Paul.
Right.
Like, she plays like Chris Paul when he was
stronger
a Wake
Chris Paul.
Much stronger for
with better defense.
100%. That's what she plays like. To your point, she's gonna come in and it's gonna look different.
Well, and that's, I love that you say that, because Caitlin Clark
and she can shoot,
played and made it look different. Paige Beckers also, the step back and all the stuff that she does. And I think that Juju is those two girls' games combined. She can pull up, she can go to the rack, she can defend, she can do all of those things. And those three players in the WNBA will be playing the game at a different level than everyone else. And now I think that having her in that trio of the future can maybe dispel some of the racial conflict that we see in the WNBA. Fingers crossed.
I genuinely believe they're still going to hate on Juju the same. I think she's going to get the same hate.
Why?
Not racially, obviously, but I feel like they're still going to find.
But they don't hate on Paige, is what he's saying.
Yeah, and I feel like
I was talking about the Caitlin Clark hate.
But I think that Juju, when she hits, it's going to take the WNBA by storm, because all the people that are unwilling to embrace Caitlin and kind of embracing Paige because she is a great player and said the right things, Juju's the perfect girl that both sides will all love.
No, I feel like the players are still gonna hate on her.
Really?
Yeah, bro. The same things I hate about the Housewives shows are what I hate about the WNBA. They're just gonna be catty.
I feel that.
Right.
It's just what it is.
I think too. You know what? I'm gonna expound on that. Who knew this segment would go this long talking about these ladies?
Right. Clip that.
I would say it's a certain style that they gravitate towards. Like, Maya Moore was amazing hooper. Maya Moore was one of my favorite hoopers WNBA of all time. Maya Moore was like super chill, super boring, super by the book, a UConn girl. Like, that goes over well. There's no beef when you have that clicking. I think the women ever play are like UConn players. So when you come in under that facade or that moniker, that's what they're gonna gravitate towards. That's the click at the top that you gotta aspire to be like. Juju coming here with that swag, that might be something that's a little different.
They
gonna
find a way.
I'm so sad she got hurt.
Yeah.
Me too.
Remember Swoops coming out? Remember how good she was?
Got her own shoes, man. Got her own shoes. Speaking of shoes, it takes a lot of money to get shoes, and that's what SGA has. Super bags. Breaking news: NBA MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has agreed to a 4-year, $285 million supermax contract extension with the Thunder through 2031. Sources tell Shams Charania it's the richest annual salary for a player in league history.
Pete, you got the graphic I sent you on this?
I do, sir.
Boy got
this is the important part. No, not that. Not that. The SGA.
Sorry,
Boy,
hang on. I'll get it. Keep going.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of bread. Remember what Lucas was gonna be and what they opted out of? Lucas was gonna be $330.
Well, and this would have been $380 if he
keep
would have
going,
waited a
keep
year.
going.
Yeah.
And Pete's about to bring it up, but there's something so much more important than him being the highest paid player in the NBA.
Yep.
Fact is he passed up $100 million
To keep Peeler?
Whoever they use that on. I have been saying this for a handful of years now. I'm waiting for these guys that are making this crazy, crazy money to start passing a little bit of up, the way that Tom Brady and the way that Pat Mahomes have done in order to stay on top. So this is $105 million left out there by him not waiting a year to do it. With the amount of capital that they have in draft picks and just going through the future, this sets this team up to be the dynasty that I've been calling them to be. So while everybody's talking about him being the highest paid player in the NBA, I'm seeing something completely different. I'm seeing the first MVP in NBA history take a pay cut.
He's playing chess, not checkers. I commend him for that 100%. You're talking about a guy that's leaving $105 million on the table for players to eat off of. That's an amazing thing. But I will also say this, Anson. And yes, you're right. First time you're seeing this happen, like, it's dope. Patrick Mahomes kind of set the mark. But they're making so much money now.
And that's why you can pass up a little bit of it.
That's why you can do this. Because when you look at what they make off the field in terms of the deals, the endorsements, like the partnerships, the apps, the tech. Everybody's in the tech space now. Everybody's into whatever. So, like, there's so much money. I'll get it back. That's what that is. You can have the 105. I'll get it back. It's just like Jeff Bezos. Remember he divorced his wife? Had to give her $33 billion in a settlement. Gave her $33 billion in a settlement. Guess what he did the next day? The market took him up. He made $34 billion the day after he gave her $33.
Yep.
And to that point,
the money's gonna be there. Is what these players now understand.
And to that point, what gets you bigger endorsements?
Yeah,
rings, baby.
Rings.
So if you give your franchise a better chance to bring in more people while you're still getting paid, you win those championships. That those endorsements, they're not only not going to stop, they're going to double and triple.
Double and triple.
Love it. And I'm a proxy Thunder fan. I'm a J-Dub guy.
Right.
But
so this is the money. This is the 105. I'm asking because you know who's next.
J-Dub and Chet.
100%. This 105 allows you to pay J-Dub?
It allows you to play them both because they both are in the same rookie class.
Okay.
Oh, and to all the haters that said that the only reason they won was because Aaron Gordon got hurt and because Tyrese Halliburton got hurt.
Right.
J-Dub had a broken wrist.
Right.
The whole playoffs. Dropped a 40 bag in the finals.
They did.
This team, they're building it such the right way, and that's why I'm so excited about what the Pistons are doing right now, because it is all about depth.
What's the next move for the Pistons?
That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked it.
Great move.
There's two things that they can do. There's some money left in free agency without Malik Beasley. They have an opportunity to possibly trade that after a sign and trade or to be able to use it on another player. Realistically, that $14.4 that they were going to give him just went to Karis LeVert. There's a few names left on the board. This team needs a stretch four badly. They did not accomplish that, and Paul Reed is certainly not that.
Nah.
John Collins is out there. It's a name that's been linked to the Pistons, depending on the
Atlanta Hawk for a couple years.
Yeah, and a guy that can shoot outside, a versatile guy. Gershon Yabusele, the guy that dunked on LeBron in the Olympics and made his way back, played for, I believe, the 76ers.
That would be his claim to fame for the rest of his life.
Forever.
Like, it just is what it is.
And LeBron couldn't suppress that video either.
Nah.
Which he has done a lot of.
Side note, the first suppression for
the high school kid?
That was the high school kid. And the second one, he's from Detroit.
Nice.
That was, what's his name? Joe. It'll come to me, my God. I cannot think of his name. He played a Butler. Crawford. Jordan Crawford.
Okay.
Jordan Crawford. That's who dunked on. It was at his camp. And
I do. Yeah.
That was at LeBron's camp. He dunked on him. That
Suppression.
one. I was like, refresh. Couldn't find the video after about a month.
Yep. So just some names to keep an eye on. John Collins, Gershon Yabusele. I'm a Larry Nance Jr. fan. Very versatile, can shoot the three. But then two names that I think we'll probably see one of these guys here would be a return of Tim Hardaway Jr. or another former Wolverine, Duncan Robinson, who opted out of a $20 million player option, which is shocking to me because
the nerve.
I don't think that the market's going to give him that back, but it sounds like he wanted to move on from Miami. So maybe a homecoming here would be the move. Seems like the Malik Monk deal is not happening, but I've got a trade for the best player sitting out there. I don't know how y'all are going to feel about it. He's not quite 23 yet. Jonathan Kuminga. This is a guy that is a 3 but also plays the 4. Based on the Pistons' move this offseason, they haven't decided to go big. In fact, they've decided to go athletic and young.
Yeah.
This guy would start for this team. And this guy at 22.7 would turn this team from having a core 4 into having a core 5. The way this gets done is the Warriors re-sign him to $24 million, which is a little less than what he was asking for last year when they tried to extend him, and he said no. But he definitely hurt his value last season. But Steve Kerr and him, they've been butting heads for years. He was never well used. They bounced him back and forth from the G League. This kid, if you make this trade, I put it through that trade machine, and it would work. Holland, Fontecchio, straight up. Maybe you even give some picks in there. I think this is the one player left that could take the Pistons over the top, not only just Eastern Conference Finals, but this kid would put the Pistons into the 2026 NBA Finals.
I like this trade. I want to disagree. I want to have some back and forth. I want to have some banter. But when you're right, you're right. Look, I love the move for Jonathan Kuminga. I think there are 2 things that Steve Kerr has done in which you have to bat an eye to him as a coach. How he handled the Jordan Poole situation with Draymond Green. How he handled the Draymond Green and KD situation is another, to be honest. But how he played Jonathan Kuminga, which he did not. Jonathan Kuminga, when you saw him in the playoffs last year, this past season, your first question is, what the hell?
Where's he been?
What the hell has been going on in Golden State for the past 3.5 years as it relates to Jonathan Kuminga? Like, every time you saw him 2-3 years ago, it was sitting on the bench. He wasn't in gaming clothes. He was in street clothes because he didn't play him. Then you put him in the game, and he's electric in terms of being able to stretch the floor and be able to get steals, rebounds, can put the ball on the floor, get to the hoop. Like, there's a lot that he can do, and then he disappears again. So I like this. This is a guy also, too, that's waiting to show the NBA that he can play. This is a guy who needs a coach like J.B. Bickerstaff. I know you don't like J.B. Bickerstaff all the way, but there's one thing that he does well, and that's create a culture for young players to thrive and have success. So I'm all in favor of a move like this. Plus, I didn't see Fontecchio but once or twice.
Yeah, and you talk about culture, and as many rings as they've won over there, Golden State has.
It's an ugly culture.
It is
starting to get out.
I'm so glad that you say that. And you look at Jonathan Kuminga, a kid out of Congo. Have you seen his interviews? He's a fine young man, and you can tell that he is super frustrated by his situation for all the reasons that Braylon just mentioned. This kid in a new setting with a new culture, surrounded by exciting co-stars, this guy is going to make the Warriors pay when he finds another team. And I'll tell you what, you bring a kid that's under 23 years old here, and you put him in with a core of Asar, Duran, Ivy, and Cade, and I'll tell you right there, that starting 5 rivals the Knicks for having the best starting 5. But what we've done this offseason is the Sam Presti model of depth. This team suddenly is 14 deep.
Yeah, you know what they would do? They would fight. That's what that team would do, much like Ben Johnson will fight for you. Justice, it just means different things to different people. But whether it's a settlement or a verdict, justice is always worth the fight. And that's why Ben Johnson Law is willing to fight for you. BenFights.com if you need that handle. If you got a case, contact the fighters at Ben Johnson Law today and get the justice you deserve. Tough, tenacious trial lawyers. That's what they are, and I always exaggerate the part about being a trial lawyer. They want all the smoke. So bring it to them. Ben Johnson Law today.
Yeah, make sure you stay connected to Woodward Sports on all social platforms. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok for the latest sports news, live updates, and that behind-the-scenes action. Don't miss out. Hit that follow button right now. Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network. That's at Woodward Sports on all of the platforms, man. That's at Woodward Sports everywhere. Make sure you follow us.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Second Best Bar in Detroit for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw, Easttown, and Ven Johnson.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Stick from Woodward Sports. I'm out here at the Feldman shop, of course, you know, because they are #1 people. And the Ineos Grenadier, that's the new car that they got. But I got my man here, the Sun God. I'm not lying. His name is Amon-Ra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He sold me a car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? Come see us out here, baby. We're in Waterford. We got the pre-owns all day. We got the Grenadiers, and we got new Chevys all day. Whatever you need, we got you.
Yeah, and I went with this one. I like it. 2023 Durango. It's used. Only got like 30,000 miles on it. And this guy, man, I was like, listen, this is my price. You either make it happen or I'm out of here.
Easy.
You know what he did? Went to his boss. He's like, I'm making this happen for this guy. Came back, threw the contract on the table. Now I'm in the whip.
Yes, sir. Sign, drive, 0 down, easy money all day.
All right, Feldman, what's the address here, do you know?
5300 Highland Road, Waterford, Michigan, 48327. Open until 6 o'clock every weekday except 9 o'clock on Mondays and Thursdays. It's 4 o'clock on Saturdays. Only day we're not here for you is Sunday. Every other day we're here to get it done, baby.
And his legit name is Amon-Ra. I'm not lying. It was destined. It was meant to be. Woodward Sports found this guy. So thank you very much, man. Enjoying the car, and the kid likes it too. It's nice and safe.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Well, you guys just heard Stick tell you he got his brand new car at Feldman Chevrolet. And if you guys scan that QR code, once again, the QR code above my head, that's how they do it here. If you scan that QR code above my head, it'll take you to Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's numero uno Chevy dealer. And right now at Feldman Chevrolet, and there are 5 locations, by the way, which is Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and in Lansing. Right now at Feldman Chevrolet, you can lease a 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew. You can lease that for just $149 a month. That's right, $149 per month. Or you can lease a 2026 Equinox LT. You can lease that for just $209 per month. Scan the QR code above my head and pay a visit right now to Feldman Chevrolet. And I tell you where you can drive your new car. Actually, Anson will tell you where you can drive your new car.
That's right. You go get yourself some legendary food, because they've been serving the original Detroit-style deep dish since 1946. And, of course, I'm talking about the legendary Buddy's Pizza, with 22 locations in the state of Michigan, including that original spot down at 6 Mile and Connet. But sign up for their reward system today. Get that app, and you'll start receiving promotions and rewards for each purchase. You can also add some of that Detroit style to your next meal and save 10% off by using that code right above my head. You see there, 10MEAL. So just head on over to buddiespizza.com, get that order started, download that app, and start saving today. Buddy's Pizza, the legendary deep dish of Detroit.
All right, 85 games in 2. Oh, perfect timing. 85 games in 2 the MLB season. The Tigers are tied for the best record in the majors at 53 and 32, I do believe. Yeah, 85, 53 and 32. They are tied with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Alliance is here. We're teaming up with the Blue Jays to get all our finalists to the 2025 All-Star Game. Let's make it happen. Let's make sure Riley, Hobby, Glaber, Vladdy, and Kirky make it to Atlanta. What do you think about them teaming up with the Toronto Blue Jays to try to make sure the stars get in? Because the fact that Vlad gets no consideration, it's a bit interesting.
Sometimes the teams have been doing this lately, Bray, in Major League Baseball, and it's a great combo here because obviously, the Blue Jays want to get their guy in, but the Tigers are really just making a mark. This is so much fun, Bray. I'm having so much fun. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys over there to vote as I did yesterday. I think they have until noon tomorrow, Bray, to post those votes at MLB.com. But again, chat, the link is coming up over there. Vote for your Tigers, guys. And Anson, we got a pretty interesting 3-game series coming up starting tonight against the Nationals and Mr. James Wood. What do you think about that, my friend?
I mean, just keep winning series. It just comes down to keep winning series. I do want to chime in on the Vlad Guerrero as a fantasy owner of him.
Yes.
For every year he's been a major leaguer. I really only think that he's been an all-star twice.
That's crazy.
And he's been playing. No, he should have only been an all-star
you
twice.
think he should have been?
Absolutely. I mean, he's been a 300 hitter only 2 times in his career.
That's very rare to hit 300 in this new MLB.
Sure.
Guys are making an all-star game hitting 200.
How many home runs do you think he has?
Right now, probably 12.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's not on pace to hit
Fair.
25. I mean, he's one of the best players, but he's also inconsistent. He has near, MVP numbers, and then he has, just barely missing the All-Star game numbers.
That's fair. That is very fair. Side note, I'm rocking the shades right now. The Oakleys, man, they take me back to my baseball days. So
Pete is too.
Indulge. There you go. I see you over there. Pete, that's my co-pilot right there, man.
You guys are ready to play some softball, aren't you?
Shout out to my wingman over there.
Let's go play some softball.
But one of the things about this is we know what the Blue Jays organization has been in the last day, actually for a very long time. They failed their players. And I think this is a situation when you're around that consistent bad energy, when you're around an organization which you don't feel like you can just come up from under, you take the money and you mail it in a little bit. And I think that might be what you're seeing with him. And that's fair. Not fair to mail it in.
The other thing is he's a notoriously slow starter. He was bad last year for 2 months. And then he was the best player in baseball not named Shohei for the next 4. He also started this season bad for the first 6 weeks. He's been pretty darn good for the last month. Yeah. But yeah, that's just very intriguing to me that the two of them are teaming up for votes. When it comes down to the Nationals, they're just not that good. Are we going to see Soroka this weekend?
Actually, let me check on that for you.
He's actually been throwing pretty darn well. And if he can get that strikeout going, that could be the game that I could see them dumping. But this is a sweepable series for the Tigs.
It's funny you said that because legitimately, like when you kind of breeze by the national talk, I was like, well, it makes sense. They're 35 and 49. There's nothing really much to talk about with them. So great job. Kerry Carpenter on a 10-day IL because of his hamstring.
No boy.
Wrong one.
That was
but it's all good.
Sorry about that.
The Tigers are placing outfielder Kerry Carpenter, hamstring, on a 10-day injury list. Infielder Trey Sweeney is being called up from AAA Toledo. But that's the cool thing for the Tigers right now.
Yep.
Because of the experience of the young players last year in the run, last year through the playoffs, and now the first part of 85 games, you got depth. So you can have a guy like Kerry Carpenter, who's one of your pillars on your team. You can have him go down for a bit, and you can spell him with a guy like Trey Sweeney, who actually made a lot of plays last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, depth wins championships. We talked about it for the Pistons. It's no different for the Tigers. When I look at Kerry Carpenter, I think he's been a little hurt. A little gimpy for the whole season.
A lot hurt.
So you looking at the All-Star weekend, which is 13 days away. So this is going to be more than a 10-day stint.
Yep.
You figure you're looking at maybe about 20 days for him to get better between taking time off for the All-Star break, keeping him on the 10-day IL. I think this is great for them. So you might have him out for 20 days, but you might only miss 12 games.
You know what I think is great?
Well,
I think the will of steel.
I was going to say real quick before that.
Great. What is it looking like?
Guess what? There's 12 games left in the first half. So we will see Kerry Carpenter in the second half, Anson Wells. That was a good call on your part.
And unlike Kerry Carpenter, we do have a Parker Meadows rookie here. That's part of the prize package. Shout out to our guy MV Pete who brought that in today. We've got the George the Animal Steel, which we're all very excited about.
Get the wheel up.
The 1977 vintage card, some other baseball cards. There's a UFC card, and then you're getting that Tigers batting glove. So
that is so cool. Too.
What I am going to need though before we spin this wheel, I think we're about 12 likes short. Something like that. Everybody, if you're listening in the chat, if you haven't already smashed that like button, we need 8 more. Smash that like button. Let's get us over 8 or over 100. And then, Rick,
what's up?
Why don't you go ahead and have us spin that wheel?
When we get to that Red Wings red, go.
Boom. Shout out to everybody making the wheel great every single time I'm in here. I'll be back tomorrow and Thursday. Thursday, we are really bringing it.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure you guys bring it as well. Appreciate you. Make sure you smash that like button. And Rando looking for the double up. Oh, this might be Weary.
No, I think it's going to be Weary.
But Weary's going to move it back to Rando.
Yeah, Michael Weary.
Did Weary move? Oh, no, wait. Weary said to get it to Crazy Clown. Isn't that correct? I don't know what that sound is.
Birds.
I lost all hearing in my right ear after that. Let's take a look real quick. I believe that he said to...
Let
me take a look.
Weary...
Yeah, he said get the mic past
I don't think that he was one of the ones that went back.
I think this is Mike.
No, Weary, we're sending this one to you, my friend. Thank you.
Not as me.
Mike's taking it.
All right.
100%. Look. For the show.
You going to golf right now or what?
No. What are you talking about?
I don't know. You active wear. You look like you're ready to go do something.
It's hot outside. I just want to relax.
Right.
I just really just want to relax.
I have not.
This is cool. This is cool wear.
I probably like push off the switch to shorts for a month too long.
I'm not a huge shorts fan, but when it's hot, it's hot.
Yeah. Man, yeah. When it's hot, you gotta put the shorts on. I don't care.
You gotta let the boys breathe, as they say.
I gotta update my shorts collection.
Look, man, we appreciate you guys.
Man, the girls love it.
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all had a good show. Y'all had fun.
Had
a good time.
It went by quick. Show. That's when I know it was a good time.
Yeah, always is a good time
what
with
a
you guys,
show.
man. We appreciate you guys tuning in to Woodward Sports, Braylon Edwards Show, man. Have a good time with Anson Wells as well as Ricky and Pete. We'll see you guys tomorrow.